everybody. I'm so excited today. I am speaking with Erin Regan with Insperity HR. They do outsourcing HR for small businesses and medium-sized businesses. And I feel like this is really something even startups need because we don't have the resources, and most small companies don't have resources to have a full HR person, full-time HR person. But man, if you don't, you can get yourself into some trouble, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important, especially when you're starting, to have an infrastructure in place that allows you to grow. And so a lot of companies kind of go in things and into it and they're like, oh, I'll just Google everything. I'll Google my laws. But when a new law comes out, are you being alerted to that? Like, are you spending time every month making sure everything's up to date for your company? So it's always nice to have that support where no matter what, you know that somebody has your back. And that's what we want to do for a company.
Oh gosh, for sure. Have you I guess what would you say is the number one requested thing or I don't want to say most important because they're all very important, right? But what's like the number one main thing that people kind of realize, "Oh, wish I had you," or "So glad I had you." Yeah.
Oh, our biggest reason that people really come in and want to be a part of Insperity is our support staff. So we have about 8 highly trained professionals, our support team, that basically will go into a company and they all have a different responsibility that they're supporting the company on, whether that's either leadership development and climate surveys, a specialized payroll person, a benefits person, so that when everybody loves to get those questions on benefits of, oh, I had to go to the doctor. Is it covered? Where we have somebody that we can support them with. Even to the point of training and development and safety. We have all of those things that our support team is there for a company, which is really, really nice so that they're not having to call a 1-800 number. They actually have a name and a 480 number that they're able to call a person for.
So when you said safety, that made me think of, I have a construction background, so it went to OSHA. Story, right? So that makes me want to ask you the question of, are there very specific businesses you prefer to work with, or can you do any kind of business?
We are able to work with any type of business. As long as the business really has employees, we're able to support them in any way that they really see fit, because it really depends on what the company is doing.
Okay.
Granted, we might not share our risk with all types of companies, but Insperity's built 2 extremely well-organized platforms to support a company with wherever their needs are and wherever they sit.
Yeah, I remember when I met you. So just so you guys know, I met Erin at a happy hour, a Nawbo happy hour last year. And that's how we kind of got connected and got her in. And she is our program chair also. Very fun parties you see and the happy hours and stuff. That's Erin now. I'm not sure if you're still thanking me for that.
No, it's been a great experience for sure.
She's like, thanks, Suzi. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But so when we met, I remember you were telling me a couple of the startups, really big people you guys helped get going until they could afford their own. And were you guys initially based, you can share that if you're allowed or whichever, were you guys initially based, or are you based out in, Silicon Valley area?
So our founding area is in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
But we are nationwide. So we have offices all over the country. But yeah, we've had some really great companies start with us as startups and have exploded to where they are today. HelloFresh is one of them, which is pretty big. Netflix is another one where they got to the point where they just outgrew us. And the time that it takes for them to enter into our program, we take just as much time and care exiting from them, because we don't want to just cut them off and say good luck. We want to transition that to them until wherever they are going into next.
That's fantastic. Is there a limit or a number of employees? Just one, as long as you have just one, or do you really need a little more than that?
Our goal always is to start around 5 employees, but that could also mean that there's a startup company that maybe has 2 employees, but they need to hire some people on. So as long as they're looking to grow to 5 within their first couple of months of opening their doors, we're
Okay.
able to support them and get to them to that point. Our max is 5,000. That's
Oh,
as big as we can handle, and then we pass them on to
like,
wherever they want to go and venture to.
you're 18, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Any other tips or things that you can, tell people that really, to encourage them in this area?
I would always say that HR is always going to be here and they're always there to support you. And some things that I've learned is that HR isn't just the person you go to when you get in trouble. HR is everything that has to do with a human inside of your organization. So from onboarding to payroll processing to benefits, all the way into if you go into training and compliance and EPLI, everything that has to do with the human, even just making sure your handbook is up to date.
Yeah.
That is everything that goes into HR. So it's a very broad spectrum of services that a company could need that they might not even be thinking about or realizing. So I always say, make sure that your HR is in place. And then if you're not sure, ask somebody, ask for help. And I know for Insperity, we're advisors. So that's my role as a business performance advisor. So we might have a conversation, and my job is truly to advise you on where I see fit for your company, where it's going to grow to. And that might not always be working with us. And it might be putting things in place right now in order to be a good fit for us even in a year from now. So I'm going to send you where I think you should go in order to maximize your personal business. And so that's just who we are. And we established that right away as soon as we got on a phone call or for a meeting in person. We're like, hey, we might not be a good fit for either one of us. You might not be a good fit for us. We might not be a good fit for you. But let's talk through everything that's going on in your organization to see what we can do for each other to support one another.
Yeah, I love that. I just like companies that are very transparent. Like, hey, I'm not your person, but or hey, I got you. I love
Yeah.
what so if we go on a little more personal notes,
Mhm.
what brought you to Nawbo? What made you decide,
Yeah.
yes, I'm like, I'm gonna join. This is so fun. Was it just me?
I mean, you were a big reason why. Well, so I went to my first happy hour last November. And what was so special about Nabo that like I tell everybody I meet now is that I've never gone into a group where so many different women have walked up to me and introduced themselves to me.
Oh,
Where
that's
you
nice.
go into networking groups and sometimes it can be very intimidating walking into a group that you don't know and just trying to figure out the room of do I just go up to somebody and just like inject myself into their conversation? Do I stand on the outskirts and wait for somebody to say hi to me? Whereas like Nava was almost like the opposite effect where people were just like coming up to me to figure out who I was and what I do and how we can support one another. So that really is what drew me in and like why I became a member and why I want to do that for other women. So when I'm out at other networking groups, I'm like, hey, how do
Yeah.
you feel about coming to a happy hour with me and meeting some awesome people?
I love that. So that's exciting. So
Yeah.
what is next that's big and fun that you're working on for Nabo?
For Nava, so we have some happy hours coming up, which are always fun. And then in June, we have our diamond brunch. So we are working on putting that, and we're just celebrating our board, we're celebrating our members, and it's just going to be a good, almost like party time of celebration and being thankful for everybody that's in place and just trying to highlight them.
Yeah. Do you have anything super exciting and fun coming up for your business? Do you have any offers for anybody or something you want to talk about?
For I'm just here to talk with businesses and see how I can support them. That's all I really want to do is just trying to support as many people as I can through just different conversations. And it even can be just like partnering up together and seeing how I can support what they have going on, whether that's sending referrals or introducing them to businesses. Or if it is a point where we're able to form a great partnership to see how Insperity can support their business, allowing them to grow. But and then with that, like we're Insperity's big on volunteering. So I always talk about with nonprofits, especially if you ever need volunteers, like please reach out to me and let me know, because I have a great team in place. And with Insperity, they actually have us leave work on certain days to go support these businesses, these nonprofits, and help them in whatever capacity that looks like for them.
I love that.
Yeah. So anybody looking for volunteers, please let me know.
Now, see, I'm going to put your phone number in there. No, just kidding. I'll put her contact information in the bottom. You can reach out. Well, that's exciting. So, do you have any last few words for people to know something about you, something cool about you, maybe something different?
I guess what's kind of different about me is that I am a former teacher. So I have that education background and I've transitioned, and so my passion is helping people, whatever that looks like for them. And so I wanted to take that passion and transfer it into something new as I exited teaching. And Insperity has really helped me do that. Whether, like I said, it's volunteering, I'm talking with businesses and seeing if I can point them in the right direction, whether that's meeting new people and seeing how we can create like referral partners out of one another. So I've tried to take my passion and move it into this new capacity with Insperity, and it's really come across very well, where like my bucket's being filled every day by just talking with people and seeing what ways I can help them in that moment.
That's fun. Well, if you ever get a chance to meet Regan and get to know her, you will see that that is true, and she will fill your bucket just the same. I love it.
Thank you.
So, being here, that's very exciting. I can't wait to put it out. Everything will be in our post down below, how you can contact Erin and get in touch and chat with her. I'm sure she's happy to have a conversation about your company's needs, if you need her yet, or how that growth might look for you. So, and also anything Nawbo events and stuff.
Please.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you. This was great. This was easy.
No, right? It's not that nerve-wracking. Wait till we go live. That'll be different. We're not live yet, but eventually.
I love it.
Guys, thanks, Erin.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.